Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Normally, there is an optimism surrounding the beginning of Dallas Cowboys training camp with hope abounding that this will finally be the year they end their Super Bowl drought. Instead, there is a lack of buzz after an offseason with more key personnel losses than arrivals, as well as the uncertainty of the contract talks involving Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. The Cowboys appear further away from ending the Super Bowl drought that is closing in on 30 years than they were in January. A cynicism has surfaced among the fan base that nothing that happens from the Oxnard, California, practice fields through the final regular season game a few days into 2025 against the Washington Commanders matters. The Cowboys can thank their disheartening January playoff loss to the Green Bay Packers in the wild-card round for the hangover. Vocal fans on social media reached their breaking point, with another season falling short in an embarrassing fashion. Some inside the organization have felt the defeat linger longer than other playoff losses in recent years, even when they lost in the divisional rounds in 2007 and 2016 as the NFC's top seed. The Cowboys' path to their first NFC Championship game since 1995 appeared to be favorable with 2 games at AT&T Stadium, where they had won 16 straight regular season games. With 1:50 left in the first half, the Packers had a 27-0 lead against the Cowboys on their way to a 48-32 victory that did not feel even that close. Yeah, that Green Bay loss will always be a motivating factor depending on who you are and what you did in that game and how it played out, said Prescott, whose second interception of the first half was returned 64 yards for a touchdown by safety Darnell Savage. It will continue. We all understand the urgencies of us improving. But there's more than just the stench of the Packers' loss hanging over the Cowboys. There is a level of uncertainty through all levels of an organization that has won 36 regular season games the past 3 years. Not only is McCarthy in the final year of his contract, so is his entire coaching staff, including defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, who replaces Dan Quinn, now the Commanders' head coach. And not only is Prescott 17 regular season games away from being able to hit the open market at 31 years old, so are 24 other Cowboys. Owner Jerry Jones often says he enjoys the ambiguity, believing it makes his decision-making more thorough, but others not as financially set might not like the setting. Jones has done this before. McCarthy's predecessor, Jason Garrett, entered the final year of his contract twice. In 2014, the Cowboys went 12-4 and made it to the divisional round of the playoffs, losing cruelly to McCarthy's Packers at Lambeau Field after Dez Bryant's fourth-quarter catch was overturned. In 2019, the final year of the contract Garrett earned following the 12-4 finish, the Cowboys finished 8-8 and missed the playoffs, leading Jones to hire McCarthy, who was relieved of his job with the Packers in 2018. Coaches like Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel have been linked to the Cowboys, should Dallas not succeed in 2024. Already a stressful job, McCarthy's status could be revisited weekly. I think you can throw the contract part to the side. Those conversations, it wasn't easy. I mean, no one wants to be on a 1-year contract, McCarthy said. I think we all understand that. The emotion of what that does to your family and so forth. But, once we got past the combine, I think once you get things set, there's a job to do, so there hasn't been any blink. But can the Cowboys say they are a better team now than when they walked off the field against the Packers? Gone is Tony Pollard, who ran for 1,000 yards, replaced by a backfield committee that will include Ezekiel Elliott, who is coming off the lowest output of his career when he shared the workload with the New England Patriots last season. Gone is Tyron Smith, the future Hall of Fame left tackle. While he might not be as dominant as he once was because of injuries, is rookie first-round pick Tyler Guyton ready to step in immediately? Gone is defensive end Dorrance Armstrong, who finished second in sacks in each of the past 2 seasons, before signing with the Commanders. Can Sam Williams, a second-round pick in 2022, or Marshawn Kneeland, a second-round pick in 2024, equal Armstrong's output? Once NFL training camps are concluded and rosters become final, 1,696 players are officially members of one of the 32 NFL teams. The turnover from season to season is incredible, and when you mix in free agency and the draft for each offseason, that turnover is multiplied tenfold. Make no mistake. It is extremely difficult to have a long career in the NFL. The average length of a career for an NFL player is a mere 3 years, and each season has a long list of players who have decided to retire. You can add another former Dallas Cowboys player to that list today. As first reported by ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter, current member of the Las Vegas Raiders and former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup has decided to hang up his cleats for good. At just 28 years old, this news is surprising to hear. Especially because Gallup appeared well on his way to returning to his pre-injury form, collecting all 6 of his targets for 103 yards in the playoff loss versus Green Bay. Despite the early retirement, Michael Gallup still exceeded the NFL average, and that's a great accomplishment in itself. Michael Gallup's football career. Michael Gallup was a third-round pick, 81st overall, by the Dallas Cowboys in the 2018 NFL Draft from Colorado State University. College ball. The collegiate Ram actually started college at Butler Community College to improve his grades. He didn't transfer to Colorado State until his junior season. Once he arrived there, he showed the talent and production that would eventually earn him a finalist nomination for the Fred Biletnikoff Award during his senior season. In 26 games across 2 seasons, Gallup recorded 176 receptions for 2,690 yards and 21 touchdowns, earning himself an invitation to the Senior Bowl. Dallas Cowboys. Once he arrived in Dallas, he was immediately tasked with replacing the production of the departed Dez Bryant. It was an unfair task to ask a rookie. The offense suffered because of it, eventually trading away a first-round pick to Oakland, Las Vegas, in exchange for Amari Cooper. Being thrown into the fire seemed to accelerate Gallup's development, however. In 7 games prior to Cooper's arrival, Michael Gallup had a total of 10 receptions for 190 yards. In 8 games after Cooper's arrival, Gallup's numbers improved to 23 receptions for 317 yards. He played his best game of his young career in a divisional round playoff loss to the Los Angeles Rams, catching 6 passes for 119 yards. The best season of his career would end up being his sophomore campaign. On 113 targets, he caught 66 passes for 1,107 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 14 games. An ACL injury suffered late in a promising 2021 season derailed Michael Gallup's career, and he would never return to form. Despite the injury, the Cowboys banked on his recovery, inking him to a new contract shortly after trading away Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns. Gallup never lived up to that contract, eventually leading to his release at the end of the 2023 season as a designated post-June 1st release. In Gallup's last 3 seasons, he averaged a meager 36 receptions for 429 yards and caught 8 total touchdowns. MG, the toe tap magician. One of the things that Cowboys Nation will always remember, and be grateful for, about Michael Gallup is his ability to maneuver the sideline like a circus performer riding a unicycle on a tight rope. If sideline awareness was an attribute in my son's Madden game, Michael Gallup would be rated a perfect 100. Countless times, he made a play on the boundary that fired up the crowd in the stands with its level of difficulty. Gallup finished his career with 266 receptions for 3,744 yards and 21 total touchdowns. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off another disappointing postseason. The Cowboys were the 2nd seed in the NFC and were shocked by an upsetting defeat by the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay made history by becoming the first ever 7th-seeded team to advance past the first round of the playoffs. Jordan Love led the Packers to a dominant 48-32 victory over the Cowboys, throwing 3 touchdowns. In recent memory, the Dallas Cowboys have put together talented rosters that achieve success in the regular season but fall short in the postseason. With multiple years in a row of continuous struggles in the postseason, fans expected the Cowboys to make splashy moves this offseason to try and compete for the Super Bowl next year. However, the Cowboys did not do much. Dallas let multiple starters walk into free agency and did not add key pieces to replace them. To add to the disappointment, they have yet to be able to agree to terms on new deals with the franchise-caliber players they do have. Players like CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are looking for contract extensions, and the Cowboys should prioritize bringing them back. Dak Prescott is entering the final season of his current contract with the Cowboys and is looking for a new deal. The Cowboys and Prescott remain far away from any talks of a re-up, and rumors are heating up. With the quarterback market being outrageous recently, Dak Prescott is expected to receive a deal similar to Trevor Lawrence's new contract, paying Lawrence $275 million over 5 years. This season, the Cowboys' defense will have a new play caller, Mike Zimmer. Zimmer was the head coach for the Minnesota Vikings for 8 seasons, totaling an impressive 72-56-1 record. Zimmer is replacing Dan Quinn after Quinn took the Washington Commanders' head coaching job. The Dallas Cowboys should sign Lawson. The Dallas Cowboys are set with Parsons and Lawrence on the edges of the defensive line, but adding a veteran to the mix wouldn't hurt. According to an article by Blogging the Boys, the Cowboys should target free agent pass rusher Lawson. Behind Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, on the depth chart things are a bit murky with young/unproven players, Blogging the Boys wrote. If for whatever reason they struggle in their backup roles in training camp/preseason, Dallas may need to look for some more proven outside help. While Lawson hasn't been quite the same dominant player he was earlier in his career after tearing his Achilles in 2021, and was a regularly healthy scratch with the Jets last season, he still has enough in the tank to help the Cowboys if they don't like what they see from their youngsters in training camp/preseason. Lawson spent 4 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals before signing a deal with the New York Jets in 2021. After signing with the Jets, Lawson ruptured his Achilles and missed the entire season. Lawson has had an up-and-down career, but a fresh start with the Cowboys could revamp it.